Since launching this YouTube channel, it would be quite good for me to actually jump on and talk about my story, what got me into the world of fitness and how kind of things started for me. So right from a child, growing up, I always wanted to be a pro footballer. So absolutely everything I'd done from the ages of 4 up to about 16, 17 was just geared up to play pro. But I was always a skinny kid growing up as well. So I was always a weak, skinny kid. I'd get bullied around the football pitch all the time. I'd always go to professional football clubs on trial, and I always got rejected generally because I was just not as much of an athlete, or I weren't as strong as the other players. I was technically very good, but I weren't as strong as the other players. So when I turned 14, my old man goes to me, "Reece, you need to get a membership. You're too skinny. You need to go to the gym." So I got membership at the gym, and typical kid, not knowing what the fuck I was doing at first, just kind of dotted around the machines. I even had unflavored protein. I thought if I had like cookie flavor or brownie flavor would be extra calories and it's bad for me. So I'd hold my nose and just fucking chug it back, and it tasted like crap. But I made all the mistakes, and I started to slowly and incrementally see some results. A lot longer than it would have been if I knew what I was doing, but I slowly started to see some results, and I kind of got that addiction. And I still remember getting an apprenticeship at a gym. And at first I thought, right, gym apprenticeship, yeah, I get to be a personal trainer. I was so excited. And the apprenticeship, turns out I was more of a glorified cleaner. So for 2 years, I was working towards my coursework as an apprentice, working at a gym called Solar Fitness in between Bromley, Orpington and East Grinstead. And effectively, I was a glorified cleaner. So it was £3.20 per hour, and I was cleaning the cross trainers, the toilets. And I actually still remember to this day that I was driving to Orpington, and I had no money left. So I had a big pile of 2s and 1p's and a couple 50p's that I saved up as like a bit of like a savings jar. And I had to get up to work in Orpington. So I went, and it turned out to be about £7 that I put in my petrol tank, and I ran out of petrol and broke down in in Sevenoaks. So I had to call my old man and say, "Look, Dad, I've bloody got to go to work in Orpington, but I broke it down in Sevenoaks." But the reason I stayed in it, and the reason I stayed earning £3.20 an hour when I knew I could go elsewhere and be a little bit better off financially in the shorter term, was because the people I was working for, they were very business savvy, they were very intelligent, and I saw them as my first coaches, my first mentors. So I wanted to stick it out because I knew I'd learn a lot. And I did. I learned a hell of a lot in my time there, and that's where my passion for coaching started, like being a product of coaching. So being a mentee, it really taught me loads of valuable lessons and realized how important coaching is and having mentors are. So I stuck that out, and then I became a personal trainer. And I remember the first transformation I got, the first client I've ever worked with, her name was Sophie Williams, if she's listened to this. I'll put a transformation around this somewhere. She was my very first transformation. And that addiction just kicked in, just changing somebody's life. I thought, it's just a feeling you can't recreate. So from there, I just thought, this is my calling. I almost felt like this is a sign of what I was meant to do. I remember always going to these pro clubs and not getting in through trial, getting an extended trial, 6 weeks, we'll give you an extra 2 weeks, and not getting in. But almost now in reflection, I kind of feel like that was meant to happen, because I feel like this is my true calling. This is what I'm really meant to do. So I was coaching people, and then we hit COVID, and I was always the guy who prided myself on waking up early, getting straight to it. But what I almost found was, when we hit COVID, I dedicated everything I had to my business. Everything. I was just put every hour under the sun to my business, but I neglected myself. And as a byproduct of neglecting myself, my focus, energy, productivity, my confidence and self-belief within me went right down, and my business took a massive hit. And the first sign of this was when I was always like proud of myself waking up early. My alarm was at 6, then it became 7, 8, 9, didn't even set an alarm. And that's when I found my energy was so low. I was staring at a blank laptop screen, and I just couldn't concentrate. So my ability to thrive in my business went down. So what kind of happened was I focused on me. I got myself a coach, and I really doubled down on my physique, my energy, my confidence, productivity, my health, my body. And as soon as I got myself thriving, my business went through the fucking roof. And not because I'm a coach and I was thriving within a coaching role, but because my energy was high, my focus was high, and how I felt in me, I built a callus on my mind, and that allowed me to really drive the business forward. And coming out of COVID, I realized there's a lot of other people, entrepreneurs, business owners, or career-driven men and women in my shoes that will probably be feeling the same. There's probably neglected years and years and years of them, their health, for their business or for their workplace. And naturally, their overall performance probably would have taken a dip. So now I've become the coach that helps career-driven men and women, business owners, entrepreneurs get in amazing shape without giving up too much time, but a shape of which they can use as a vehicle to thrive in the workplace. Because the effect that I've seen it happen on not just me, but the CEOs, the CFOs, COOs, you know, the career-driven men and women, the other coaches that's come to us, they've had it by building an unbelievable body, but most importantly, using it as a vehicle to thrive, more control, discipline, focus, energy, self-belief. You know, the productivity and focus is the biggest one. Imagine this, imagine if you could focus on you without giving up too much time, and then all of a sudden be in better shape and double your workplace productivity. Promotions, pay rises, what more comes as a byproduct of that? Feeling good in yourself, better relationships. That's the passion that was ignited in me when I made that change myself, because I still remember to this day how it felt when I felt like shit, and I didn't want nobody else to feel like that either. So that's why we work with the business owners, the career-driven men and women, because I know that there is nothing else out there that can help these people more than the systems we have in place for it. So if you're watching this and you're in those boats and you want to learn a little bit more, then either subscribe to this channel or just drop me a comment below with me, and we can have a chat and I could just shoot you over some advice, or if you want to join our program, you're more than welcome to have that conversation as well. But in the meantime, that is my story. I'm looking forward to taking you and documenting the rest of my journey throughout this channel, and subscribe so you see the rest of the videos. Take care, see you soon.